Good day to all, I'm back. Today we are gonna talk about something that could either make or break us depending on how we react or respond to it. That is criticism. We face it early on in life and we are gonna face it for the rest of our lives. We've experienced it early on at home, in school, in the workplace, and most especially in the playing field of art and performance. The craft entails self exposure and is prone and vulnerable to criticism. Now, we all know to improve means to undergo evaluation and criticism. So, it's our response that is most important here because it's very crucial in determining our steps if we are to go in the right direction with our craft. Because we are either going to welcome it as constructive and allow it to inspire us to do better in our work, or we are gonna treat it with grudge or aversion, and this isn't really the best way to go because dahil doon makakabahan tayo mag-join ng mga auditions or competitions or master classes, or you will tend to shy away from performances or collaborations, which are all integral and crucial in the mastery, in building confidence, and in making yourself a better artist. Sabi nga, diba, the fear of criticism is the fear of performing. So, no fear. Pero syempre, subjective naman ang art, hindi ba? Kaya different minds are going to evaluate and criticize your work. But for now, let's talk about 3 types of criticisms and how we can deal with it or how we can respond to it properly. In such a way na hindi tayo maapektuhan at hindi tayo madadown natin yung sarili natin because of it. The first type of criticism that we are gonna talk about, let's call it objective criticism. So ito yung fair, itong type of criticism na to. It's valid and it's just presenting facts on how you could make your work better. Usually this will come from credible people you can trust to give you feedback. Sila yung may mga deeper knowledge in the matter or the subject na magbibigay sa'yo ng honest feedback or honest criticism without halong scorn or mga coops na comments that would bring you down. They're just aiming to really help you improve your work. That's it. Sila yung may mga deeper wisdom gained through experience and are generous enough to share it to you, to help you out. So we're really thankful for those types of criticism. Anyway, mararamdaman mo naman kung maganda yung motives nila in criticizing your work. So let's just take what we can and the comments that will serve us and move on with creating our work. Alright, let me give you some scenarios. For example, you just had a concert, or you shared a new song, or you pitched a new business idea, or you presented your art. They're gonna say of it, parang the tempo was rushed, or parang nagsimula ka mabilis, tapos biglang bumagal, or it seems like nawawala ka sa tono, sharp ka dito, flat ka dito, or sasabihin nila, hindi klaro yung mga passages mo, you're mumbling your words, those types of comments. But the good thing about those types of comments is that we already have a basis for improvement on our part because we know exactly what to work on or what to focus on dun sa work natin para ma-improve siya. So we're thankful for those types of comments because they're very straightforward and they aim to help you improve your work and they're not said with scorn or anything. So, okay yun. Some ways to deal with those types of comments would be, first, you can try to respond with a question that expounds the question. This way, your response is constructive. Kunwari, they say, parang mabilis yung tempo mo masyado, you're rushing it, bigla ka bumagal. You can answer by asking, may you suggest a tempo that's gonna be comfortable for me to begin with so that I don't end up rushing my piece? Or kunwari, pwede sabihin nila, your passages weren't clear, your words were sloppy, or you just didn't execute it clearly enough to be understood. In this case, you can ask them, can you give me tips on slow practice so that I can clarify the difficult passages? Yun. If you respond this way, then it becomes constructive and it becomes objective. Another way to respond would be to set your boundaries and to decipher your non-negotiables for your work. And for the rest, you can just allow yourself to try out the suggestions being given, because who knows if something there's going to appeal to you, right? Or maybe it's going to immensely improve your work. That way, it's going to be a win-win situation. But if I were to be completely honest with you, then I'd have to say that I'm still trying to work on that department, because minsan matigas yung ulo ko and I tend to make my work over personal, na minsan alam ko hindi siya nag-appeal to others, but then there are passages in the music or like song ideas that appeared out of very distinct emotions I had during the creation of that particular work. And those emotions, I'm sure, nung time na yun, I was only able to pour them out through that piece of music or that body of work. Sometimes, more than the end product, I am more concerned with preserving the moment or the emotions I had during the creation of that particular work. I associate the music with the moment or what that moment had meant to me during that particular time, because it serves as kind of a landmark or a journal of sorts na sa future when I look back at it, I want to remember it in its entirety. Yung pinaka-raw na form niya. So, sometimes, matigas yung ulo ko in making changes pagka ganun ko tinitreat yung work ko. It's kind of hard to explain, but then that's just the way with me sometimes. But I guess for me, that was a way to set my boundaries and my non-negotiables. But for the rest, I welcome the suggestions and I allow it to improve my work. So, as a conclusion to that, we deal with objective criticism objectively. We just try to put on a learner's mindset, and we think that we are fueled by our desire to learn and that we take pleasure in seeing results, in the impact and different outcomes of different suggestions. Okay, now let's talk about the second type of criticism. Let's call it preferential criticism. Ito yung mga not entirely your fault. Like, it happened because of factors not in your favor that allowed for you to make mistakes. A scenario of this would be, for example, someone gave you the wrong piece. Perhaps it was in the wrong key, or mali-mali yung lyrics na binigay na piyesa sa'yo, or ibang edition. Or it came way too late that come rehearsal, you weren't able to troubleshoot anything. And of course, kung nangyari to, your bandmates or your fellow performers or your conductor would be angry, would not be pleased. In this case, you can calmly tell them without pointing any fingers that so-and-so happened, ganun yung nangyari, and it wasn't in your control. Or another scenario would be you will clash ideas with someone you're working with or someone you're collaborating with. And that's not in your control too, because syempre, iba naman kayo ng isip. So, in this case, you come up with a sound compromise without any violent reactions, and you try to get your points across to each other with the utmost respect. Now we go to the last and certainly the least and the lowest of the low type of criticism. Ito yung tatawagin nating troll criticisms. I'm pretty sure you know them, the trolls. We see them everywhere in the amazing world of the internet. So, hello sa inyo, mga trolls. Actually, hindi hello sa inyo. No hellos for the trolls. Sila yung mga walang magawa sa buhay and they're hiding behind their screens and all they want to do is to shoot poison arrows at people and to bring people down. Which is such a terrible way to live, right? But they exist. It's usually best to just ignore these types of people and not to give any thought to their harsh words. But unfortunately, in reality, those are the words that stick with us. And those are the words we allow to seep into our minds and to mess up our brains into thinking that we aren't worthy. So ito yung mga words that cause us to doubt ourselves or doubt our skill and eventually destroy our perception of ourselves. And it leads us to reduce ourselves into this tiny, tiny being. And it makes us believe in all the wrong things that leaves us burnt out or too drained to even move on. Nawawalan tayo ng gana to keep going with our craft. And nakakalungkot, pero ito yung nagpupush sa atin into that dark place of depression, and anxiety. We don't welcome this type of criticism at all. Instead, we face it. Because all that we can really do is to face it with an armor and a shield and a sword, that being love, respect, kindness, empathy, and also in the knowledge of our own gifts and our own uniqueness. Basta, always remember that we were fearfully and wonderfully made by God, and He's always on our side. So no amount of trolling can ever change that. So there, criticism could either make or break us. And if you're someone who values progress, then you know that progress doesn't come without evaluation, without criticism, or even trolling. And it really depends on how we perceive it, how we respond to it, how we allow it to affect us, how we can turn all that negative energy into something constructive and something positive, and a force to improve our life's work. Before I close, I just want to say that most of the time, if we're not on the receiving end of those criticisms, we are the ones giving them out. We are the ones criticizing others. So hopefully through this video, we can choose wisely which type of criticism we are to give. It's because we never really know how our words are gonna affect others. I mean, hindi natin alam yung impact nun magiging sa buhay nila. Either we could lift them up or bring them down. And is it even a question kung ano yung pipiliin natin dun sa dalawang yun, diba? So may we always approach our criticism honestly, but always with kindness, and may we always end them with encouragement. I'm pretty sure hindi naman mahirap gawin yun. So all the best, and I hope this video spoke to you. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe. Maraming salamat!